My name is Beatrice Nyakira, a PhD student in Animal Nutrition in Animal Science Department. I would want to thank Cesaam for the funds that they've provided, which will enable me to improve the sheep production by having sustainable sheep production, and this will translate to improved food security, improved quality of pastures and fodders, and at the end of it all, it will improve the protein quality of the meat that Kenyans are consuming, and will end up having a healthier nation at the end of it all. By way of introduction, you find that farmers in the developed world, including Kenya, usually rely on crop residues and poor quality pastures, especially during the dry season. And this one has decreased the livestock productivity. So increased livestock productivity is actually limited by low quality pastures and fodders in terms of crude protein and feed shortage, especially during the dry season. Sorghum can do very well in dry areas. It can do well with limited inputs. It can do well under limited rainfall. And another advantage of sorghum, as you can see the crop here, this is the third ratoon. It ratoons, that means it can regrow. So this is the third ratoon. The first crop is the one which was used for making the silage for the experiment. And for moringa and sesbania, they are also hardy in terms of doing well in the dry season, and they have enough biomass for the animals to feed on. They are also deep-rooted, hence can also do well in limited areas. We are going to use red Maasai sheep, and the reason why we are using red Maasai sheep is that they are also hardy, and the other advantage is that they are also resistant to both external and internal parasites, which is usually a health problem in our livestock. So after the acceptability study, I'm going to use 5 mature sheep, and we are going to feed them in a cafeteria system, whereby we are going to subdivide the trough in 3 parts, because those are the 3 feeds, and then we are going to see how they're accepting the feeds, and by the feed intake will also be determined by weighing the refusal. What you give them in the morning, we deduct from what has been left after an hour of feeding, then we'll have known how the feed intake of those feeds. The other experiment will be conducted as a feeding trial, where I'm going to use 28 intact male lambs, and they're going to be fed in a complete randomized design, and they're going to be given 7 treatments. The 7 treatments will cut across. They'll be randomly allocated, the 7 treatments, and here we'll use sorghum silage as the basal diet, and the fodder legumes will be fed at graded levels of 0, 15, 30 and 45%. That is for each of the fodder legumes, and we'll have a control where we are just going to give the sorghum silage without the fodder legumes. So that makes up the 7 diets. After that, we are going to access the carcass quality, and we are also going to do an organoleptic test once the sheep have been slaughtered from each of the 7 experiments. So we are going to do the carcass quality and see which combination best gives the best carcass. For this work, I want to acknowledge Egerton University and Animal Science Department. I also want to acknowledge Cesaam for the funds that have been provided for this work. Otherwise, without them, I was not going to be able to carry this work. I also want to acknowledge KALRO Naivasha, where I am right now. They've provided me with the facilities, both the land and even the facilities in terms of the experimental stables and the metabolic cages to conduct my experiment. I also want finally to acknowledge my family, because I've been, during the study, you're away from them for a long time, and they've also been very supportive.